Hello Stitchy friends, welcome to another Starlight Stitching Co. Finish with Me video. Today I am going to finish the Silent Night pattern from the Religious Christmas Trio by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And here is what we will be turning it into. So it's this sweet little ornament with just a simple fabric backer, trimmed in some chenille trim with a gold bow and jingle bells. So come along with me as I finish this with you, and you can see my mistakes and things along the way, and I hope you enjoy. Today I'm going to finish this Silent Night piece, which is stitched from the Primrose Cottage Stitches Religious Trio. And I want to finish this into a little ornament. So I have my stitching here. I stitched this on a 32 count raw gold linen from Zweigart. And I did change the colors to some fancy floss. I have some other supplies, my backing fabric that I want to put on the back of the ornament, some Lady Dot Creates chenille trim, some ribbon, a couple of jingle bells, and I have some thread and needles for attaching the jingle bells. This time I'm going to use a new to me product. It's a mat board, so it's like a thin cardboard or chipboard, probably a little bit thicker than like a cereal box container. So I'm going to try to use that for finishing today to try to get a little bit thinner of an ornament. Using regular packing cardboard or the foam core board that I've used before, it would be really thick because each of those layers is pretty thick to put two of them back to back. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. So first off, I have a little bit of, this is just some scrap fleece from making my bags that I sell in my shop, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to attach the fleece. Now I have already cut this down to size. What I did is I took a quilting ruler. I thought I had one handy, but I don't. And I just measured 1/4 of an inch around the edge of all the stitching, and that was my size. So for this one and the fabric I stitched it on, it ended up being 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. So that is what I'm using. This mat board, I think, is pretty reasonably priced. I got a pretty big package of it off of Amazon. They come in 11 by 14 inch sheets from the package that I purchased. And I just used a guillotine paper trimmer to cut them down. So then I'm going to, I did put some interfacing on the back of my stitching that is the same size that I want my finished ornament to be. I just like to secure that. You don't have a whole lot of extra fabric. It would not be very easy to pin this like I normally like to do, but I think I have my interfacing positioned really close. It looks like. Normally I would fold in the corners first, but since I don't have very much fabric on these edges here, I'm going to do those first this time. Please keep in mind, I am not a professional finisher. If I were, I would probably be lacing it instead of using glue. I just like to finish my own pieces, because as beautiful of a job as the professional finishers do, if I want to be able to stitch more things, I need to be able to do it myself. All right, so those sides are secure. Just double check it here before I get too far. Yep, I think that's gonna look really cute. Now, how do I want to fold these corners in? Cut off that tail. I think I want to do something like that this time. Just make sure I get those corners in. We're going for it, folks. We're going for it. Still using way too much hot glue. Yep, I know. You know, I've always gotten harassed or made fun of by my family for always using too much tape on Christmas presents. Kind of the same way with glue. I just don't want the stuff to move. Yeah, those corners look nice. I like that. So now we'll repeat on the other side. I'm just kind of finger pressing this to get it to stay in position. I want it to be folded under more up at this end than at the other end, so those edges don't stick out. Okay. We're going for it. And I'm just hoping that I don't screw this up, because I don't have time to restitch it before it needs to be gifted. Well, that looks cute. I like it. Okay. Now on to the other side. So this should be easier. This is just a scrap of some batik quilt fabric that I have on hand. I might even, should I cut it down smaller? I just kind of grabbed a chunk of it. There we go. And I'm going to kind of do it the same way. I like how that turned out. Press that down, just like I did before, kind of finger press. Now the edges don't have to be perfect because I am going to be covering them up with chenille trim. Okay. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy, but I think once the two sides get put together, it'll be okay. Fingers crossed, right? I hope I'm all in frame this time. Finger press. It's warm. Okay. See how we look. That looks pretty nice. So then we're going to put those together. I'm going to make sure I have enough chenille trim. Yeah. So I'm going to cut it right about there because I can take this and make it into a hanger. At least that's my thought process. We'll see if it actually works. Ah, broke it. Bummer. Maybe that knot didn't need to be quite that tight. Okay, instead of trying to tie a knot, I think, where should that go? I think that's probably enough. Okay, and now I do not want this sucker coming apart. Squeezing it together. Okay, so you can kind of see those fabric edges. I mean, it doesn't look too terrible. I wouldn't be against just leaving it, but I'm not. And some of you might, hand stitch this down. Nope, I'm not gonna. I'm going to very carefully, and this time using just a small amount, Are you holding your breath? I know I am. I'm just using a small amount of hot glue. And just kind of pushing that chenille trim into it. There's a big gap there, so I'm going to add a little extra glue in that spot. Okay, there's a little too much glue in that one spot there. So far, so good. Breathe, Amanda, breathe. All right. Half a side left to go. All right, so before I glue this down, I'm going to cut it to length. Don't want it to be too long. Also don't want it to be too short. And then we're going to glue this down. Whew. Okay. That's a relief, right? Oh my goodness. So this looks pretty cute, but I also want to add a little bow and maybe some jingle bells. But how do I want to do the bow? I think this is just some old Stampin' Up ribbon. They probably don't sell it anymore. I've had it for years. Fun fact, before my daughter was born, she's 6.5 now, I used to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator and made and sold a lot of paper crafting products. But I knew that after she was born, I just would not have the capacity to do that. And I was definitely right. So, tie a simple little bow, cut the ends, and then I have a little bit of just regular sewing thread that I've doubled over in a needle. Let's see. I'm going to come up from the back under my bow, leaving that tail there. And I'm going to thread on these 3 jingle bells. And then I'm going to go just through. No, that's not how I want to do it. Don't lose your needle. Okay. So I've got my 3 jingle bells on the thread. And I just want to tie a quick double knot to keep them together in a nice little trio like that. Then I'm going to use my needle now just to go through the bottom part underneath the bow. And I'm done with my needle. Then I'm going to take this loop and put it through the loop of my chenille trim. And then I'll flip it over to the back. And I'm basically tying a knot around, I think, where the bow joins the chenille hanger. I'm just going to knot that a few times. And then I'm going to clip the thread ends close. And adjust my little bow. Now my Silent Night ornament is complete, and I think it's really cute. Oh my goodness. Now I just need to finish my own so I can do it the same way, except I don't have any more of the chenille trim. I have something close to the red though. Either way, super cute. I like it. Might want to put a little more glue there. The chenille's sticking up a little bit. The back looks pretty. All right, so I have a finish. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed finishing this sweet little ornament with me. I had a lot of fun, tried some new things, and I think it came out really well. So now I would like to stitch another one of these for me so I can have one hanging on my tree. And I hope you and your family have a very Merry Christmas. Bye.